Zacchaeus, the cheater. Zacchaeus was a little man. He was a rich man. But no one in all the city of Jericho liked him. It wasn't because Zacchaeus was a little man that no one liked him. It wasn't because Zacchaeus was a rich man that no one liked him. It was because Zacchaeus was a cheater. Every day he sat beside the king's money box in a tax booth where people came to pay. This is the way Zacchaeus cheated. If Farmer Philip's tax was 1 silver coin, Zacchaeus charged him more, maybe as much as 2 silver coins. Farmer Philip frowned, but he had to pay. After Farmer Philip had gone on his way, Zacchaeus dropped one of the silver coins into the king's money box, but the other silver coin he slipped into the pocket of his robe. Camel trains passed through Jericho, carrying loads of salt and spice on their humpy backs. Always the owner of the camel train must halt his camels at the booth and pay tax money on their loads. And always Zacchaeus charged too much tax money. Yes, Zacchaeus was a cheater. But one day something happened that changed Zacchaeus' ways. Down on the riverbank not far from Jericho, came John the Baptist to tell about Jesus, and to tell about heaven. Zacchaeus joined the listening crowd at the river. As he listened, a wish began to grow in his heart. And the longer he listened, the bigger grew his wish. Zacchaeus wished he could change his cheating ways. But how could he change his ways? Repent, said John. Be sorry for your cheating. Pay back the money you have wrongly taken. But when Zacchaeus said, I am sorry, not many people believed him. They told one another, he's always been a cheater, he'll always be a cheater. They shook their heads and turned away. What's more, no one would go to Zacchaeus' house, no one would eat with him. Poor Zacchaeus. What should you do? If he could see Jesus. Just to look on Jesus' face would help. And then one sunshiny morning, a messenger came running into the city, shouting as he ran, Ho, everyone! Jesus is coming up the road. Jesus will pass through Jericho. Man and women left their work. Boys and girls left their play. They ran to the street where Jesus would pass by. Zacchaeus didn't even take time to snatch up the king's money box, he ran with the crowd. But when Zacchaeus reached the gate where Jesus would enter Jericho, the narrow street was jammed with people. He was too short to see over their heads and no one would make room for him. Zacchaeus ran here, he ran there, trying to find a place where he could see. He must see Jesus, he had to see Jesus. But how could he? And then Zacchaeus remembered something. Zacchaeus remembered a sycamore tree that grew beside the city gate where Jesus would leave in Jericho. The sycamore tree was old, so old its branches had grown far out over the street. Zacchaeus turned face about, and raced down the street ahead of the crowd. He reached the sycamore. Up, he climbed. What matter if he told his fine robe if only he could see Jesus? Zacchaeus climbed out on the branch of the sycamore. He could see the throng for up the street. People were shouting, some waved palms branches. Zacchaeus shaded his eyes to see better. The man dressed in the white robe, around the crowd pressed that man must be Jesus. In those men trying to make room for him to walk, they must be Jesus' disciples. Slowly the crowd came nearer and nearer. Closer came the crowd toward the sycamore tree beside the gate. Now Zacchaeus could see Jesus' face. Never had he seen a face so kind. If only he could talk to Jesus, tell him he was sorry he had cheated, tell him he would pay back all the tax money he had falsely taken. Would Jesus believe him? Or like those others, would Jesus shake his head and turn away? Zacchaeus leaned down to have a last look as Jesus walked under the sycamore tree. But Jesus did not walk on, he stopped. He looked up. Zacchaeus, he said, make haste, and come down, for today I must abide at thy house. Zacchaeus could hardly believe what he heard. Jesus knew his name. Jesus was coming to his house. Jesus would eat with him. Zacchaeus scrambled down out of the tree. At the foot of the sycamore tree, Zacchaeus stood before Jesus and made a promise. No, he made 2 promises. Lord, he said, the half of all that I own I am giving to the poor, and I have taken anything falsely, I am paying it back 4 times. Jesus held out his hand to Zacchaeus. Jesus believe him. Jesus believes me, when besides my bed I pray I'm sorry, Jesus, that I cheated in a game today. He holds out his hand, as he did beneath the sycamore. I believe you, child. Tomorrow play, but cheat no more.